When you spray tire shine on a tire, you're impacting someone's life, and that's why the product line is so powerful.
With Jonathan Monson's mother-in-law, Carolyn, fighting cancer, Monson knew he couldn't fix it, but he wanted to help her fight back.
The overall purpose of the entire product line is to uplift people. If you have a purpose and a core reason that you do what you do, all of a sudden washing a car becomes feeding the homeless. Washing a car becomes helping people with cancer. Doing an interior detail becomes brightening somebody's day.
Jonathan Monson, welcome back to Nick at Night. I am super excited to talk to you, not only because I enjoy your company and I think you're a fascinating individual to follow on social media, but you recently launched a product line. Yeah, and I wonder if we could talk a little bit about that. I guess it's been around for a while, but maybe your why has changed, and I wondered if there's kind of a message you want to share to the detailing community.
Yeah, so I tried products a couple times. I went through the journey of what is it like to bottle products, what is it like to source products, to try to work with somebody that bottles them for you. I think we had 3 renditions that we went, yeah, this ain't it. Pretty much had given up on it. It was like, I'm not going to do a product line. But I really wanted to do a product line because I get so many questions and I spend so much of my time working for free answering questions about what should I use to do the thing you did in that video you just did. And that's, for me, it's like, man, I'm answering all these questions. You know, there's over 100 million views a year, and I'm answering thousands of questions about what glass polish do you use? What pad do you use? What product do you use? So I tabled it for a while there, and then we've helped people with cancer for a long time. One of the first charity drives that we ever did was for a boy named Hunter. And he was a 4-year-old that had cancer in his back, in his spine. And we raised over $5,000 for the family, did a drive where we did interior, exterior detailed stuff. And the helplessness that you feel as somebody that likes to fix things, because that's, I mean, most business owners are fixers. An employee comes and says, hey, I have this problem. And you go, that's not a problem. Here's the solution. So I'm a solution finder. And I couldn't just sit and be stagnant and watch this happen. You know, Carolyn's going through her chemo treatments. She's been in the hospital twice now. She's had chemo back to back where it caused a reaction. She got a bacterial infection. Andrew's mom is going to be going through cancer. Andrew's mom, Carolyn, right? That's the person I was talking about. She's had some reactions and stuff. She's been in the hospital several times. And her husband, Shane, who's my father-in-law, looks at things as like he has to take care of them too. Just he's very much like me, like he's the fixer. So when somebody's in the emergency room for weeks at a time, it's expensive. You know, there's money involved, and that's stressful. So sitting as the person I am, going, how can I help? Like, what can I do? I can't cure cancer. I wish I could. You know, I don't have Santa's magic, cancer cured. So I said, you know what, let's do this. Let's make another round at this product line. And my cut of the profit is going to Carolyn. I have one other partner in the product line. He gets his cut, and then my cut, which is 33%, there's 3 of us. My cut goes to the family. Once Carolyn beats cancer, we're going to now start adopting families. Skip all of the nonprofit stuff, skip all of the CEO enrichments. We know cancer is just an industry that just makes a ton of money. We're going to skip all that, and we're just going to adopt families and donate money to help them with their bills, because it's expensive to try to beat cancer.
I mean, it's such a complicated diagnosis, but like the heartbreaking part of it is like how much money it's going to cost just to do the things to have a chance.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I think one thing I think of, you know, almost offhandedly is like when we get too involved in the car cleaning, it's like, we're not curing cancer here, we're cleaning cars, right? I think that undermines how important detailing is to people, because it can offer them their own therapy, and now you can kind of empower them to clean their car, which makes them happy, and maybe like put it to good use. What are your thoughts on the importance of what we do and detailing and then maybe, because I know you've been able to stretch it out and help impact other people through there. So that kind of offhanded comment, well, we're not curing cancer here, we're just cleaning cars. What do you make of that?
I mean, what you do on a daily basis is what you decide to do. But if you're washing cars, but the end result is the profits go towards a cause, or you're washing the car of a cancer patient and you're not charging them, or you're doing a detail for somebody that's going through leukemia and you're not charging them because it brings a smile to their face and it gives them a sense of every time they get in their car, there's kindness in this world. It's core. It's part of who I am. And if you go out and you decide I'm going to do detailing and I'm going to have a business to make money, and that's your sole focus, pardon the bluntness, you'll have one of the most pathetic existences on this planet because you've left nothing behind. You're not taking that with you. When we die, we become dirt. There's no taking the money with you. But if you have a purpose and a core reason that you do what you do, all of a sudden washing a car becomes feeding the homeless. Washing a car becomes helping people with cancer. Doing an interior detail becomes brightening somebody's day. It's the little things, man. You know, when I walk through a cashier station and I check out with somebody, I look at the cashier and I say, out of curiosity, has anybody told you how much they appreciate you today? Because I know that some of those positions are the most overlooked positions. Like, they don't get complimented. You did a great job. Because they're just cashiers or they're just fast food workers. Like, they put up with some of the crappiest crap of all jobs. So I make it a point to step out of my comfort zone and sometimes be a little bit awkward and ask if people are having a great day or if they're appreciated, and then show them appreciation. And you can do that with your detail business every single day. I mean, if it's just even a service that you tack on for free, we set it up on purpose. Like, we'll pitch things to people, and if they can afford it, they buy it. If they can't afford it, we'll still do the one thing that they really wanted that maybe wasn't too expensive. We'll do it for free, just to say, hey, we threw this in. We call it the Dreamy experience for a reason. And if any point in time within that service we find out you're going through hardship, guaranteed we're doing something for you. Whether it's go to the store and get some flowers, a card, your favorite drink. You know, you'll get a weird question like, what's your favorite drink? Like, why is my detailer asking me that question? Because we're about to go to the store and buy it for you. Because when you show up, there's something about doing something that you didn't expect and handing it to someone, even if it's just a drink, if it's a Pepsi. They're like, man, that's why you asked that question. Man, you guys are awesome. That's super cool. And the beauty of that is I'm a believer. You know, I believe in God. I believe in the Bible. And the way that the body is created is we fight cortisol, which is the stress hormone, with DHEA. DHEA is produced in the body by being grateful and thankful. That feeling that you get when you do something really nice for somebody, where you get the chills and your body gets warm, that's a chemical release of DHEA, which is leveling your stress hormone cortisol. I can't explain it any better than it's divinely created so that we should serve in everything that we do. And we're in the service industry. So you can have a huge and super powerful mission for your detailing business, or you can have a detailing business just to go out and make money.
So it's okay to make money and have a good why, right? I mean, those don't have to be mutually exclusive?
No, you have to. Think about it. If I want to help more people, what do I need more of?
Capital.
I need capital. I need money. It costs money to help people. I mean, yes, I can help and impact people by being a kind person. That only goes so far. You know, there's some things that people are going through hardships where it's like, hey, you got this. You're going to have a great day. Make it happen today. That just ain't good enough. You got to be able to do something else. I'd love to have the ability, like Shaq. Shaq goes into a Walmart and pays off everybody's layaways. Like, you don't need to know I did it. I just showed up and did it. I'd love it. And that's what I'm striving for. I want to become so self-sufficient that I can just drop 100 G's and just change somebody's life. You know, I'd love to do, you know what I'd love to do? We should all get together and do this. If we can, this is a call out to the industry. If we can get a good solid, like 5 to 10 people with capital and do like Bar Rescue or Kitchen Nightmares, but detail edition.
So what are those shows? I don't know those shows.
So like Kitchen Nightmares is when Chef Ramsay goes into a restaurant, finds out what's wrong with it, remodels the restaurant, gives them a new menu, teaches them how to run the business, and basically changes their life. If they take the coaching well, right? If they go back to their old habits, the restaurant always fails. It's one of me and Andrew's favorite things to do after the show We Google it. Are they still around? And you can see it in the reviews. They did really great. They took all of Chef Ramsay advice, or they reverted back to their old ways. They're really going downhill. But he basically pops in and changes people's entire business model in life. And Bar Rescue, same thing. John Taffer, he wrote a book called The Power of Conflict. Phenomenal book that teaches you that getting up in somebody's face and telling them the truth, which can cause arguments, people, when in a heightened level of frustration, will reveal to you how they actually feel. And then you can deal with those feelings. And that's how relationships get stronger. So he goes into bars and just tears into people, finds out what's wrong. And sometimes it gets super emotional because it's things like hardships, death, cancer that they're going through. And that's why the bar declined. And then he remodels the bar, gives them a business model, helps them make some better drinks, teaches about perceived value. A whiskey in a cup is one price, but a whiskey in a cup poured in a circular cube of ice with smoke that smells like hickory, same exact drink. Now it's 3 times the cost because of perceived value. And that's what they do. They go in and they revamp business. I think it'd be great to do that with detailers.
What is your why, Jonathan? You run 1 or 2 shops in Western Washington? Or where are you at exactly?
I have Auburn, Washington is my detail shop. Yep. And then now we have the shop that just opened at home in Graham, Washington. That's a detail shop and training center. I'm not going to reveal what we're going to call it yet because we just came up with the concept. I'm literally setting up all the socials as we speak to launch it.
It's fun watching your journey, putting the shop together, like watching you rename your channel, and just I'm watching you on your own journey, like as you're growing and evolving and trying things. It's just fun to watch because you're not someone who puts a lot of guard or walls up. You're very open. So it's kind of fun to see people who are that open because most of us, we have our boundaries, and I feel like you just let it all. You're just like, this is who I am.
Yep. It's the best way to be. It takes a minute to get there, but if you act that way and you just put it all out there, the people that don't support you for who you are, it's really easy to say, well, you're not my people, because you're putting the truest version of yourself out there. And if people don't like you for who you are, those aren't your people. It makes the decisions for business very easy. It makes acquiring the target client very easy too, because they know exactly who they're dealing with. They know exactly who I am, and they know exactly how I'm going to handle both customer complaints, positive feedback, all that stuff. So you don't have to have any surprises when you come to my business.
It's fun watching your videos. Like I said, I just enjoy watching them. So that's why I wanted to have you back on the podcast. Like, you had one guy who was like, I just want to give you my money. Give me a price. And you were like, here's why we don't get like, and you just explained it. I was like, I know that customer. I probably wouldn't have gone on social media and talked about it. And then you have the most random ones where I feel like you're trying to sell me something on TikTok Shop, and I'm like, what are you doing, Jonathan? Like, you guys, what are you doing on TikTok and Instagram? Like, what is it? Just whatever you're feeling that day, or is it all part of a greater mission? It doesn't have to be a perfect answer. I'm just kind of curious because you're very successful.
It's just whatever I feel like doing. There's no rhyme or reason or theme. There's just me having fun. Like this morning, the elk were walking through my yard. And the song, what is his name? Michael. I can't remember. It's looking for a reason, roaming through the night to find my place in this world. So I'm on my camera and I'm like, to find my elk in this world. Because I got elk walking behind me. So I just have a good time. I like to have fun.
No, it sounds like something you do for sure. And so again, whenever I'm like scrolling and I'm like, what is he up to today? And then I see this video with you, and you get the products behind you. And first of all, I'll tell you, my instant reaction was like, you're just trying to sell me products, right? You're using emotions to try. And then I watched the video and I was like, oh, it's sunk in for me. So if folks didn't make it past that and they think there's something, more sinister at play, like he's just trying to pull on my emotions to sell me products, let's talk about the product line and your why again, and just what it is, what products you offer, and again your mission for it right now.
So I'm gonna reveal as much as you'd like to know. I'm working with Nighthawk. Chris Awad runs Nighthawk, and we met before his product line really even started producing for him. And I told Chris, I said, I really want to help folks with cancer, specifically Carolyn, because she's related to me. She's my mother-in-law. They're going through some hardship. They were already going through hardship before she got cancer. Cancer was like, oh, great, this too, wonderful. So the feeling of just darkness, and I don't like that feeling. I like to be the light in the world, right? So I don't like when things start to overcome me like that. So I'd like to start a product line, but I want to do it with you. Chris has a brother, I believe, or cousin. I can't remember, but he's got a chemistry degree. So he helps him mix some of his chemicals and make things better and fiddle with stuff. Chris has a propensity to absolutely love the chemistry side of things. He wants to go to school for it. So I said, why don't I start a product line, absolutely stomp it, and make enough money so that when I'm buying products from you, you make enough profit that now you can go to chemistry school. You can get a degree, and you can become my guy that I go, hey, I want to do this, and it's never been done before. Figure it out. And I can pay you to do that. In doing so, we'll also take the profits that I have, my side of the profits, not the profits that the partners have, and we'll invest those in people that are suffering going through the cancer journey. So the overall purpose of the entire product line is to uplift people. Like that's the design of who I'm buying it from. It's a small business. He's just getting things going, and the profits are going to helping someone else. And the why is super powerful. Like it's hard to talk about it without getting emotional because right now it's so close to me. But it's also something that, I mean, we've had food drives, we've had events where we've raised money for several people in our local community. Cancer for me isn't a new thing. It's a thing that I've tried to help people through. And when Carolyn got it, 4 of the people close to me and Andrew got it. We had a server at Trappers that got breast cancer. We have a friend that helped us with our food drives that also got breast cancer. And recently we have somebody their brother got cancer, not directly related to us, but related to somebody that we know directly. So it seems like it's happening more. And it's like, man, everyone around me has cancer. And that's why I did it. Whether people believe that or not, I don't care. And the message I always send is imagine for a second, every company that exists in the United States took some of their profits to help a cause. Who cares if that's to drive the company growth? Wouldn't you want to invest in a company that's growing because it's helping other people versus investing in a company that's growing to enrich their stockholders and enrich their people and become CEOs? I mean, look at Salvation Army. Look at your nonprofits. The CEOs make millions of dollars. Would you rather support that, or would you rather support a company? I mean, imagine if Walmart took 33% of their profits and invested it in something local with every store.
So the why is crystal clear to me now. Are the products good? That's what folks now want to know.
They're terrible. No, of course they're good. So the product
Tell
that
me
we
about
have that's the product that we have that I absolutely love the best, and it's actually taken off just in the short period that we've been selling. I think we've been selling for 6 or 7 weeks, and we've sold over 200 bottles of the best dressed. So we call the whole product line the best detailing products. And I came up with that idea for 2 reasons. SEO, right? People are looking for what's the best dressing. Well, it's called the best dressing. So in the interim, as this grows, we will start coming up by SEO. It's also the best product line because it supports a cause. It's not just a product line. It has a purpose. So the best dressed is one of the best dressings out there because it cleans and dresses at the same time. But I can't stand a shiny tire. So it creates a satin finish. If you put a second layer on, you get your shiny tire. So it'll do both. And that's why I love it. I cannot stand a shiny looking tire. I used to be a tire tech. And as soon as the car came in with a shiny tire, you're like, yep, this is going to be a pain in the butt to get that tire off because it slips off. There's a bar you put in the tire, and that tire shine gets on the bar. And as you're trying to take it off the rim, it keeps slipping off the machine. So I can't stand greasy, nasty, oily tire shine. Why we came up with that. It's a rendition of Wicked Citrus by Nighthawk. A little bit of adaptation and changing, creating what we have, the best dressed. And then we have the best APC, the best wheel and tire cleaner, the best soap, and the best drying towel. That's pretty much the lineup right now. Will we add things? I have a rinseless it's in bottles. It's ready to rock and roll. I got to make the labels for it. It's going to be called I believe we'll call it the best rinseless, and it's 1,000 to 1. It's a phenomenal product. So much so that when tested, when Chris from Nighthawk sent it for testing, the guy was like, "Can I buy this formula from you?" And he's like, no, that's my formula. Chris loves to make things that you can dilute absolutely insanely. His rinseless was, I think, 875 to 1. And I was like, bro, it doesn't need to be any more than that. Like, stop.
Well, you got to be careful because people are not going to believe it works, so they're going to use too much. When it's that, I think 256 to 1 just became industry standard, from maybe the Optimum days. I'm not really sure, the ONR days. You'd have to ask Ivan that, but I know that when it gets too hyper concentrated, people actually just end up putting too much product in because they just almost don't believe it.
And that is exactly why it's still in bottles on the shelf with no label yet, because I'm unsure if I want to launch it.
Maybe talk to Ivan what he thinks of 1,000 to 1, just being one of the rinseless people. Because 1,000. I mean, it sounds great, and in fact, it is great. It's just it's also. So, what's the dilution of that? How many? Like, how do you measure that out easily? Is it by the capful or?
Yeah, you're going to need to do a cap to, I think, 5 gallons. So it's like prep your wash bucket, take a cap, and go bloop.
and detailers aren't going to believe that. They're going to be like, that's not enough, But if it really is, that's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. We'll see what we do with it. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. So when you look to the future, how big do you want the product line to be? Like how much of your own time, effort, energy? Because we have a warehouse, a 3PL warehouse in Chicago for it. I mean, like, it can get big. Like, how do you envision it growing if everything went the way you wanted it to?
So this is when you were talking about the why and how powerful the why is, and who you do business with and how you present yourself and put yourself in the public eye, it answers that question. How many people do I want to help? The bigger the company gets, the more people I get to help. I want the company to be as big as it possibly can be. And I don't care if that means giving it to somebody else. If we scale it to the point where it produces $1 million a year and I'm like, man, I can't handle this anymore, it's too stressful, somebody else take it and run with it. It's not about me becoming a rich person. It's about helping other people. So the bigger it gets, the more people it can help. So I'd love to see it hit 5 million a year. I'd love to see it hit 10. Man, would it be cool to see it hit 30?
You've done a lot. How do you work with goals? Do you manifest? Do you write the goals down? What's your routine? Like, how do you achieve big things in detailing and in life, Jonathan Monson?
I live my goals. I'm a huge supporter of a dream written down as a goal broken down into steps as a plan, and a plan feverishly implemented becomes a dream come true. You have to put this stuff on paper. You have to plan it out. You have to put it in a Google Drive, type it out, use ChatGPT. Say, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. Give me a breakdown of how to make this happen. And your eyes will open. ChatGPT will be like, yep, I did that with my lawn care, right? I mowed my lawn. I got this new 0-turn lawnmower. And I got to have the property looking good when these people come for training. So I mow my lawn. I'm like, man, I need to fix these patches, demoss this, de-weed it. I sent a picture to ChatGPT and was like, I have no idea what kind of grass I have. I have no idea what I'm doing. Break down how to fix these patches, get rid of moss, and tell me what kind of grass I have. And it was like a 5-step plan on how to fix my lawn. And it's $897 because you ask, what products do I need to use, of what amounts, and what's it going to cost me this season to do it? $897 is what it's going to cost me to fix my lawn over the course of the next 4 months. And I have a step-by-step plan. And that's crucial because as a business owner, you wake up, you look at everything that you have to do, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's a lot. I mean, just this podcast. You asked me to come on this podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that tomorrow. Yeah, no problem. I book out 2 weeks, and I'm looking at being able to do this. But I made it happen because I have structure. I got out a little bit earlier, 7 o'clock to 8:30. We filmed how to prep and ceramic coat matte and satin paints. So I got my car all washed and everything. Got in here by, I think, 8:35 to prep a little bit and mentally go, oh, okay, we're going to talk to Nick. And then we get on the podcast. We do our thing. After this, I got 3 phone calls. I go back outside, finish wrapping up my filming, come back inside. I have a coaching call at 1, 2, 3 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock, we have our community Zoom. So it's structure. And when something in that structure stops, I'm like, sweet, I have this whole list on Siri that's my reminders. And I just go into my reminder list. and I fill my blank time with other things that weren't super important that can be done pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've realized that as much as I want my days to include all these things, and I don't want them to have to feel so structured, whether that's for life or work, it's usually like life stuff. Like I'd like to do this today or do that. If I know it's so rudimentary, but I put a checklist on paper, and I try not to make the checklist too long. And I don't have like some master system, and I'd like to utilize ChatGPT, and I'm sure there's a million ways to do this. But the checklist is very helpful, Jonathan, to get the things done in the day. It's so amazing how simple it is. But
it's also like it's like getting notifications on social media when you start checking the things off. It'll create an oxytocin release, right? Oxytocin, maybe. I don't know. There's a chemical that releases when you get notifications. And
dopamine,
when you start,
who knows?
There you go, dopamine.
Yeah.
And it'll, as you go through your checklist, you're like, oh yeah, and especially if you have 12, you get to 6, you're like, I'm halfway there. Let's go, rock and roll.
Are you a fan of the 12, or are you a fan of the 6 that you know you can get done? Because I do find it a little upsetting when I leave boxes unchecked. Like I feel better if I checked all the boxes off versus try to create 20 and get 13.
So I'm a major minor kind of guy when it comes to my checklist, kind of like music, like major minor chords.
Okay.
I have usually four major things that I need to do for the day. Right. Today is my coaching. I have 4 coaching calls. One of them is community Zoom with a group of people. I need to knock those out of the park. That represents who I am. It helps people. It serves my mission the most because it's serving others. Everything else that's on the schedule, if I don't even do it, it doesn't bother me at all. I want to make sure I high level perform at 4 things per day. And then everything else is just, hey, let's get this tedious task done. Let's fold some micros. Let's sweep the floor. Let's go organize. Today we're building some carts. We're building some carts and organizing our shop so that I can take the shelf, move it over so we can put some more product on it because the product line is doing fairly well for its first 6 weeks. Interesting fact, what was it? Coca-Cola only sold, I think, 25 bottles of Coca-Cola in its first year, if I remember correctly. If you research that, we're stomping that. We got 250.
There you go. So to the enthusiast, I want to ask you one more question about the checklist. So when it comes to checklists, goals, I had this great question. You were talking about getting the major things done, and then I had a thought. Okay, let's talk about products, and if I come back to the checklist and goal setting, I'd like to go there. With the product line, is it bottled on site, or is it shipped from your location? How much of this are you doing? I'm not asking you about. I'm not the guy in the comments asking you who makes it and blah, blah, even though you already mentioned that. I'm not curious about to know all your business. I'm just curious on how it's all getting done.
You're welcome to know all the business. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Even if I white labeled everything, I would tell you there are products that we just, that's his APC. Let's throw our label on it. APC's APC. Like, we're not making a magical solution here. It's all purpose cleaner. Calm down, everybody. But I found the bottling part in rendition number 2 when I was starting to do the product line. The bottling part was the hardest part. I got 55-gallon containers sent to me. Figuring out how to get polish out of a container, thick dressing out of a container is very different than APC or degreasers because they pump pretty easy. So like having to get gravity feeds or pumps or hydraulic systems, now we're talking a lot of investment. And if you think about the purpose of the company, it's to create profit. And we can't create profit quickly if we're doing all that stuff because we have to buy machinery. Then I have to build a place to do it because I don't have a spot. We have a training center here. I need to have the smallest section of the training center for products. So I had to limit that. So Nighthawk bottles it for me, puts the caps on it and everything, sends it out to me. I label it. I sell it.
Okay. And then you ship it as well? Box it, ship it. Okay. I was going to ask you, so you mentioned fold-in micros, and yet also you mentioned being on coaching calls. Like, I saw something on, I don't know, TikTok or Instagram about limit the amount of like $10 an hour tasks that you're doing. What do you make of all that? Because like, I enjoy, I guess, doing my dishes even though I don't enjoy it. And like, I don't know, I guess I wonder how many $10 an hour tasks I do throughout the day that are not the best use of my time.
It's a thing as you scale and grow, as you start producing money, you think about it, you're like, I can produce in sales, like I do sales like 12 hours a week. and I can produce anywhere from $450 to $1,000 an hour. So does it make sense for me to be doing the folding micros thing? Not really. But when I'm off and I need momentum, when I've tried a task and failed, tried another task and failed, tried another task and failed, it just seems like we call it cancer hands, right? Which, I mean, the theme is we're talking about cancer right now. Cancer hands, when you're going through chemo, you can't touch things because the chemo causes sensitivity. So if something cold, it hurts, right? So we call it cancer hands, where everything you touch is breaking. It's not working. When that happens to me, I go fold micros because it's an easy task to get a win on. And then I'll do something else like organize a shelf. And the momentum of winning over and over again translates into the important tasks. So I'll do 3 to 5 tasks that are easy wins, that are quick. And then I'll go back into, say, sales, or I'll go back into trying to edit or produce a video or something that's more high level. So while they're $10 an hour tasks, they don't really serve you if you're doing phenomenally well and you're crushing it for the day. In a day where I need momentum, I'll fold micros. I'm also not beyond or above cleaning a toilet, mopping the floors. And those tasks serve to show as an example to my team. So while they're not $10 an hour tasks I do all the time, like it's not my job to clean the floors and to mop and fold micros and do all that. If I were doing that 40 hours a week, we would lose very quickly because I'm the producer for the company. I'm the name, and we're creating producers underneath me. So I'm teaching Tanner, for example, how to become what I've become by going through hey, I love that you want to do the mopping and the laundry in the morning. $30 an hour employees don't do mopping and laundry on a regular basis. You will do it 4 times. And in those 4 times, you will do these 4 things. I do, I say, you do, I say, you do, you say, I do, you say. That's how we train staff. We walk them through that training process. When you're done with those 4 steps, if they still don't grasp the concept, they're either not meant for that task or they're not meant for the business. And we have to make a decision there.
Can you go back and say that again? I do, you say, yada, yada, yada. I wanted to I want to hear it again.
I'll break it down for you. So this was taught to me by Steve Warner. He is now the COO of Heartland Automotive, which is the chain of Jiffy Lubes out here on the West Coast. Largest chain of Jiffy Lubes. Interesting, really quick fact. Jiffy Lube went through Chapter 13 when everybody was finding out that Jiffy Lubes were screwing over people. That was before I worked there. They went through a lawsuit, had to file Chapter 13. They came out of Chapter 13 and negotiated the biggest oil deal of oil deals. Their negotiation was to go either with Pennzoil or with Quaker State. They were the number 1 and number 2 oils. So Pennzoil, Quaker State, and I can't remember what the third one was because Pennzoil and Quaker State are the same company. But there were 2 different oils. The oil that they chose became number 1 in the world. So they were able to leverage that position and say, we want you to give us $13,000 or $30,000 per store to remodel our stores, and we'll use your oil. And then they went back to the other one. It was like, we want you to give us $50,000 to remodel the stores. This went back and forth for a couple months, and then we were able to remodel all of our stores, plus get the cheapest price for oil, just so that we could position that company as the best oil in the world or the number 1 oil in the world. Anywho, Steve Warner taught me this, right? I do, I say. I'm going to do the task, and I'm going to give you the why. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why am I putting air in the tire? Why am I cleaning the tire the way that I'm cleaning it? Why do I use the system that I use? And then you're going to do it, but you don't grasp the concept yet. I only showed you once. So as you do it, you're learning the task, right? We're connecting memory to action. As you're doing the task, I'm going to explain why you're doing it the way that you're doing it. If I have to instruct you a little bit more because you're not doing it properly, I will. And then the third step is you're going to do it, and then you're going to tell me why you're doing it. That shows me that you understand and grasp the concept of doing it and why we do what we do. And then the 4th step is I'm now going to do it, which is just fun. Imagine being able to boss your boss around, right? That's an awkwardness, though. We're teaching them to do things that are uncomfortable because now you're telling me what to do. And for me, and I don't
the 4th one is your tech or your person you're trying to teach does it and then does and says what?
I'm the tech at that point.
Okay,
so the 4th step is I'm doing it. They're telling me why I'm doing it. And that's the leadership step because they're getting the awkwardness of now I have to tell my boss what to do. If they can tell me what to do, they can tell employees what to do. They can tell team members what to do. So it becomes really easy to transition them into leadership. If the person struggles with step 4, they're not meant to be a leader because they're not good with the awkward stuff. So we'll repeat step 4 over and over and over and over again until somebody either embraces it or we learn that they're not meant for a leadership task.
I was thinking of my kids making their bed in the morning until that last one, and I don't know if that's the right. Because
Tell me that wouldn't be fun, though.
I think it would be fun. Be like, Dad, you're making your bed in the morning so you get a quick win. Your room looks nice. You've set a foundation for the day. What's the why for making the bed? How can I sell this to my kids more? Because right now I'm still resorting to bribery. I'm paying them to make their beds. It sounds crazy, but I want them to do it so many times because they see me do it, right? So I think eventually when they see you, that's way more important than anything you say. But I'm wanting them to do it, and I'm reinforcing it with like a little monetary reward. I just want them to get the reps in, but I know I'm not quite doing it right. What's the deal with making the bed? Give me some motivation. I feel like I got a free coaching call here.
Think about it, though, and I'm not trying to correct your parenting. I don't have kids.
It's okay. I'm listening. I'm open to it.
Look at all the tasks that we've done in our lives. Look at how our families taught us. Look at the cartoons we watched. The villain always had money. And now you're teaching your kids to do something in exchange for money. So they're learning how to exchange their time for money. They're not learning the concept of I can make more money by not exchanging my time for money. So the idea that I'm going to pay somebody and pay them more to do a task only has so much power. But if we can find something that motivates them, which you got to get to know the kids, right? Which can be hard sometimes because kids are kids. But if we can find what motivates them and give them that versus giving them a monetary value, and that may be, more time doing X, Y, Z, or more phone time, or more, we have a friend, Selma is one of our neighbor's friends. She was a maintenance client. She's turned into a homestead friend. She lives only 3 miles away. Selma wants to start a YouTube channel because she's watched John, and one of her friends has a YouTube channel, and he got 15 likes the other day. And it's this big thing. So she came over, we edited a video together. We did a whole like documentary. She had a sleepover, and we did a documentary of game playing and everything. And then we scared Andrew with some styrofoam, and we edited this. And she wants to start a YouTube channel because she enjoys it. That's the reward now. It's like, okay, you can do this, but you can only do this if you do this. You have to earn the ability to do your extracurricular activities. So it's about getting to know people, and we do the same thing with our business. Like what drives you? Do you want to own a home? Do you want to own your own business? Because if you want to own your own business, you're in the best possible position to be. I will teach you how to do it. It's not easy. I had still love him to death, Glenn. If you ever watch this video, I had to let my manager go. He had been with us for 3 years. He was just far too nice. He was great at the work that we did, but he would let people walk all over him. He had a bachelor's degree in business. We sat down with him several times and said, what motivates you? What are your wants, needs, dreams, desires, and goals? I want to help you get and achieve those. So these are the tasks that I'm going to give to you to achieve more money or the ability to do this, or maybe I'll help you buy a car, or maybe I'll do whatever it is you need done. We had a Tanner, when he started, within his first 4 weeks, his car got stolen off the property. I did a special sale and I bought him a new car. It doesn't necessarily need to be a raise as much as it needs to be tangible actions that help you achieve your wants, needs, desires, and goals. And if you tell me you want to buy a home and I give you a task and say, this is going to get you towards your goal. If you don't do that task and don't do it feverishly to the best of your ability, one of two things. You're either lazy or a liar. That's the only two options. You either lied to me about what your goal is. You don't really want a house because I gave you the task that could get you there, and you didn't do it. So you either don't really want a house or you chose not to do that task because you're lazy. And I don't want to attack you as a person. So you choose which one it is and let's get this fixed. And then we move forward. So it is about finding out what motivates people. That's more difficult with children. Kids, I'm going to be honest with you. That's Andrew. Andrew can have a blast with kids and rock and roll, but I'm not good with children.
Well, no, they say that managing people, like, they have like 4 different things that motivate them. So some people might think money is the motivator, but other people want, the things, right, Jonathan? Come on, you got it.
I don't.
You don't? Oh, I feel like you would. But it's important to like figure out what those people actually want and what motivates them. And I just realizing like treating them both as like these little like children who like would be motivated by the one thing. Is like, yeah, it's working well with my son. He's making his bed every day, and then Penny, she kind of does sometimes. And is it that big of a deal? No, but it is at the same time. I want them to get in the habit. I think because I didn't start making my bed till I was like 35, but I truly believe in it. I think it's great. I think it's like not making the bed feels weird to me. So I believe in it, but the why is almost like a nebulous thing. I have a hard time drilling down on because I want them to get the why and then embrace it because they know why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a small thing, but I don't think it is. I think it's the biggest thing.
Keep on it, man. Once they get older, they'll understand the concept.
They'll understand.
I don't make my bed. I know that might surprise people.
You
but
don't really?
I have 5 dogs. You make the bed and it's just a mess in an hour.
That's a totally different story. Yeah. I'm not allowed to have pets in my place, so there you go. I do miss having a dog. So, detailing cars, is there something about the detailing industry that you feel like is changed in the last 6 to 12 months that gets you fired up in good or bad ways?
Yes, there is. This one gets me a little bit spicy. The lack of ownership. Like when somebody hands you the keys to success and you don't take advantage of that and do the tasks, like I can do a coaching call until I'm blue in the face. If you don't actually implement or take action on the things that you need to change, nothing's going to happen. It's the same thing when you watch a podcast, go to a training, read a book. If you don't ever implement it, why did you bother reading the book in the first place? People want this overnight success. And I don't know, maybe it's a bitter creature trying to grow and become part of my soul. But as I get older, the more I look at it, I'm like, you're not putting in the work. I put in 80 plus hours for 3 years to build what I've had. And you have all these entrepreneurs that are on social media saying that, you gotta take time for yourself, which is true, but there is a time for that. Like I told you when you wanted to do the podcast, Sundays are off limits. Sundays have always been off limits. I didn't work on Sundays. I always took time for myself. The 5-day work week is now the thing. I don't usually do things on Saturdays and Sundays, but I had to earn that. I had to put in the hours. I had to put in the hard work. And if you don't know how to do it, you have to work more. If you don't know how to run a business, you don't know how to market, you don't know how to sell, guess what? Now you have to be the 40-hour a week detailer. You have to be the product supplier, the person that buys and orders things, and you have to be the guy that's learning marketing and sales. And if you think you can smash that into a 40-hour work week and make $20,000 a month, one of those things has got to give. You either need to lower your expectation on how much money you're going to bring in and just live in reality, or need to live in the reality that I'm going to have to put in quite a bit more hours to figure out how to work more efficiently and then work more efficiently. There is a sequence of events that makes this stuff happen. And oftentimes it's us banging our head against the wall, failing over and over and over again. Tell me you didn't fail, Nick. Did you fail when opening your product line and starting things up?
Dude, I've failed so many times along the journey, and I don't envy the guys and gals who are out there starting their mobile detailing business or their detailing business. I do envy parts of it because I love cleaning cars. I think it's so much fun interacting with customers, but trying to figure out how to stop being the detailer technician and focus on the macro stuff. I don't know. I really like the detailing of the cars, Jonathan. I didn't like the other stuff. Yeah. But I needed to do it, and I would listen to Ivan and not implement his things, And so I really like doing the social media and like doing the videos about DIY detail. I don't like coaching people on how to be successful like entrepreneurs because I don't feel like that's necessarily my skill set, especially when it comes to being like a one man or one person operation in detailing. I don't know. Do you tell people to stay one person, to hire? Like, what advice do you give those folks who are falling in love with detailing and realizing they can make money doing it, and they've got eyes as wide as the moon?
Open mind. Have an open mind. Where do you want to go? Because where you want to go today and where you want to go 5 years from now might change. So you have to have an open mind. You have to follow the right systems. You have to have a marketing plan. You have to have a business plan. You have to have a sales plan. You have to have structure to the business if you want to produce something that you don't have to work in constantly, even at a small level. You look at somebody like Mark Barter. Mark Barter started with the Detail Mentor, Visual Pro, auto detailing, and he has scaled now. We created certifiedprofessionaldetailers.com, but he's still owner operator. Produces over $300,000 a year, goes to Disney every year with his kids, takes vacation when he wants to, but he has structure to his business. There's nothing wrong with that. You can create almost more wealth with owner operator and learning how to invest that money than scaling if you don't know how to. If you don't know how to manage a team and you don't have to manage people, you're going to go through 5 years of hardship trying to figure out how to talk to people because everyone's different. You can't talk and teach everybody the same exact way. And you're going to go through that and bang your head against the wall for 5 years trying to scale your business to over $1 million and go, well, John did it so easily. Yeah, no, I didn't. It took me 22 years. I watched everybody else fail in the automotive repair industry for 13 years. I went into stores and I tried to fix things, and I combated owners that didn't want to invest in their people. I learned the wrong ways to do it, and that's why I'm so successful in the detailing industry. This was 20 years. It's not a 9-year thing. If you want to be owner-operator and you love being owner-operator, do it. But understand that might be for a time or for a season. You may change. Your back might go out. You might go, well, I guess I can't detail anymore. I got a local guy just recently came to my house to drop off some 3D printed polisher holders. His name's Tyler. Shout out to Tyler if he watches this. Super cool guy. He walks in with his arm almost like it's in a sling. It's like my back had just gone out that day too, so I'm hobbling. He's arm like this. Are you okay? And he's like, I don't know. I think I might have hurt my rotator cuff. And then he starts talking about scale. He's like, I brought in. I can't remember the guy's name, but he introduced me to the guy that he brought in, and he said he's going to start helping me work, and I've got to figure out how to train, teach, and scale the company now. I'm going to need to talk to you. So blindsided completely with an injury and now needs to scale. Otherwise, his business can't do anything anymore because he's the only guy in it. So that's why I say it may be for a season. You may love it, but there may be a point at which, like one of my favorite clients, Carla Lynch, she's got cerebral palsy. She got to the point where she cannot wash her car anymore. That's why she hired us. So there may be a time where you can't do it anymore. And if it's your sole operating income, things are going to have to change. So keep an open mind. Do it the way it works today, but always think for the future, because you may want to scale. You may not want to scale. You may want to look into stock trading. I love stock trading. I trade UCO and SCO. I've made $120,000 off of UCO in the past 3 years. It's a stock that jumps up to 26, drops down to 21, jumps up to 26, drops down to 21. It's done this for 3 years. I buy it at its low, sell it at its peak. That's something that can produce for you when you're not working in your detailing business if you get injured. So you have to think about the long term and not just the short term, and how are you going to solve problems as you get older. And it's funny because the 21, 22, and 23-year-olds don't think like that, right? I'm invincible.
They don't have to, because they don't have any proof that suggests otherwise, right?
Yep.
They don't believe that they're going to get older. Their bodies are still fine even when they get injured or sick. You know, they recover fast. I don't know. I just feel like you have to get humbled sometimes in life to really believe this stuff.
I agree. I was one of them. I was bulletproof. I was in phenomenal shape. I mean, heck, I was just talking to Devin. I was 270 pounds with a 29-inch waist when I was 20 years old. I was in phenomenal shape. I was unstoppable and invincible. I am no longer that. I woke up and stood out of bed, and that's how I pulled my back out 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, I just took a step and was like, oh.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm fine now. I went to the chiropractor, and we're on the mend. Life is good.
So what do you think about coaching? Should everybody have a coach? Like, what's the deal with coaching?
The coaching is about ownership. I have people that keep me accountable. You can use things like social media. You know, if you do a live video or if you post content and say, I'm going to do this, and then you don't do it, your following will be your coach. They'll hold you accountable. So I think coaching is huge. I've paid Ivan to coach me. We've had some coaching calls here and there. Ivan is very smart when it comes to the business side of things, and that's why I use his expertise. There are people out here in our industry, as well as others, that have done what we've done to a way higher level, that have information that we lack. And that information is worth monetary compensation. And there's a two-part to that. If you don't pay for the information, you don't respect it. And I don't mean necessarily money. If you don't pay in terms of having to acquire it. So if you get the information for free, you used your time. Your time is more valuable than money. You spent hours researching it. You found contradictory information. You had to research which information was actually correct, because there's just too much information on the internet nowadays. And then you compared, contrasted it, implemented it, and found out, oh, that's the wrong stuff. This is the right stuff. That's a lot of time. You can pay a coach and fast forward that, but then again, take action and implement what the coach says. So there is a huge value to a coach. I've hired coaches. I've hired coaches outside of our industry. Kerwin Ray is one of the coaches that I hired. $7,000 was that expense, one of the best $7,000 I ever spent. And the idea of paying more than you think you can afford is also huge. You pay $7,000 and you think, oh, I could only afford $1,000. I just wiped out my savings account. You immediately take action, because we have this innate ability as human beings to make our decisions the right decisions, whether they were or not. We make up the story in our head, or we take the actions that make that to prove that it was the right decision. I paid $7,000. I got off that phone call. Within that day, I sold $10,000 worth of work because I was motivated. So the expense of paying more than you expected to pay also motivates you if you take action. So there's a huge value to it, but it has to be approached right.
I do think I heard this a long time ago. You pay more, you enjoy it more. There is something to it. It's stinging a little bit in terms of your investment and how much you appreciate it. Because when it's free and how much you appreciate it, what goes on between these two ears, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. Whether
it's the most important part.
Even like when it comes to healing, I wonder how much of it is the other stuff and how much of it is just your mind buying into it or believing that you're getting well, or I don't know. There's just a lot to life that it's between the ears. It's your thought process and whether you buy in, at least for me.
It can get to the level of mysterious, like do, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Robbins talks about this stuff all the time. He's one of the more prominent gurus that have been around for a long time. My brother, when we were young, he's 6'7", and he couldn't dunk, right? Could barely even jump to touch the rim. My brother took him through a series of mental training techniques. It was like, why can't you do this? Tell me what's in your head when you think I can't dunk. And what it boiled down to was all of his friends made fun of him all the time. You're so big, you can't even touch the rim. You can't jump. You got no ups. And that played in his head. When he was trying to jump, he would say, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. So what my dad did was programmed him. He said, close your eyes. I want you to take those friends, put them all in front of you. I want you to drop their pants so only their boxers are showing, put a clown nose on them, and laugh at them when they say that you can't jump. And then I want you to jump and grab the rim in your head. And he did that over and over and over again. And I watched within 30 minutes, my brother was able to jump up and grab the rim. So he took a lack of ability and turned it into ability simply with the mind. The mind can produce some incredibly amazing things. And this can get to a realm where people think I'm absolutely insane. But I would get in my van and I would look at Andrew and I would go, what do we need for money? What do we need to actually profit to make this week a week where this weekend we can go do something fun? He would give me numbers and I would say, okay, on the first job, I'm going to show up, I'm going to walk past the car, I'm going to notice this, this, and this. I'm going to pitch the upsell to the client, they're going to buy it. On job number 2, I'll notice this, this, and this. I'm going to pitch the upsell, I'm going to buy it. Because based on, like you think of a Chevy Avalanche, right? Plastic restore. Of course the plastics are going to be bad. So we're going to sell a plastic restore. So I knew by year, make, and model what these cars typically needed. And I would pitch that almost 100% every single time. I would close those deals because I spoke it into existence. If you speak it and believe it, it happens. And it also helps to be a little bit of a believer that there's a guy upstairs that's going, I want you to succeed, because your core values and your foundations are here to help people. It all plays together.
I think that's a great place to end. this podcast. Could we talk about where they can find the products? We haven't done that yet.
So it's the bestdetailingproducts.net.
Who .net?
Yeah, there is a .com. I don't even know if I should say this publicly, but I need to buy it. I'm the kind of person in business that I don't do things with my own capital. I let the business generate it, and then I spend the business's capital. We're almost at the point where we can buy it. I think I'll be buying the .com next week.
Gotcha. The bestdetailingproducts.net.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And can you give me the feels about how that's impacting? Like, is there someone, again, your mother-in-law, she knows this is happening. I'm guessing she's grateful for all the support.
It's something that when we talk about, it becomes less of a conversation and more of everybody just choking up and crying. They are incredible. And this is not me. This is those who have supported. I didn't make this happen. We made this happen. This is a cause that we are all pushing together. When you spray tire shine on a tire, you're impacting someone's life. And that's why the product line is so powerful. So yes, it does become a conversation, but it's a very short one because we all start cutting onions. And I want that to happen over and over and over again. So much so that this is a great thing to release. I'm going to have 24 bottles. I haven't told anybody this, not even Carolyn. It's going to be Carolyn's best dress. It's going to be colored blue because she's going through colon cancer, and blue is the color of colon cancer. And those bottles are going to be limited quantity. There's only 24 of them. We're going to sell them for $100 a bottle, and 100% of the cost or 100% of the profits are going to go to her and her bills. Nighthawk donated those, colored them blue for us. We got a special label for them. So it's going to make an impact. And as we grow this, I think we do that for each person. We have a limited quantity special product that was designed specifically for their journey and their hardship.
Well, I appreciate you coming on to talk about this, and we hope folks heard and felt your message. I certainly did. So, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jonathan. You're the first 2-time guest on Nick and Knight, so I hope it's not the last. So next time you got a big update for us, let us know. And like I said, go follow him, Dirty2Dreamy, number 2, right? Dirty2Dreamy. Is that how we find you on socials?
Yep.
Okay. Always something interesting to talk about. I never turn away. So you have the gift.
I love it. It was fun.
Thank you so much.